Joining me now, a pioneer for the Libertarian Party as the only woman for her party to be the presidential nominee and on the ballot back in 2020. Dr. Jo Jorgensen, welcome to Sunday Morning Matters. How are you?
Oh, great. So glad to be here.
Well, you know, you're in Visalia for the state convention that is, really typically Congressman Devin Nunes's turf, if you will. Is the party trying to recruit more Republicans?
We're trying to recruit everybody. And, we did come from Republican roots. The party was formed when Republicans looked at Richard Nixon and said, you know what, he's not acting like a Republican anymore. All he's doing is giving us big government. But we're also attracting a lot of Democrats because we are big into criminal justice reform. We're big into allowing people to live their social lives as they please. And we've seen the Democratic Party, unfortunately, take a turn against individual rights. And by the way, let me mention, I grew up in the 60s and the Democratic Party was all for the individual and they were very anti-war. And now we've got President Biden, who's one of the most pro-war people there. He's the one who instigated the Iraq War a few years back. And so we really appeal to both sides.
Well, obviously, you're having the big state convention in Visalia, as I mentioned. Really, what is the message there? And not only to the people that are coming, but obviously to have it in Visalia. That is, small town, but obviously in an area that typically, because of farmers and stuff, that's necessarily pro-Trump.
Well, this probably isn't the answer you're looking for, but the rest of the state was shut down. And we now the Libertarian Party has been pointing out how individuals should have the right to live their lives how they want. And that means not wearing a mask if they don't want to and wearing a mask if they choose to. And stores have the right to require masks and let people choose which stores they go to, which hotels to stay at, and so forth. But the state of California, as you know, has had very stringent rules, unlike the rest, much of the rest of the country. And in fact, I believe the last I looked, California had similar COVID rates as Florida, which had, pretty much has been open all along. And I spent quite a bit of time there since December, and you don't have to wear a mask anywhere, pretty much.
So you're basically saying Visalia has loosened some of the restrictions, and that's why you're having it there.
Pretty much, they were the ones who welcomed us because the other places just said that it was too restrictive. They couldn't do it.
Does the Libertarian Party support the recall here in California against Governor Newsom?
Well, of course. And Governor Newsom is hypocrisy at its greatest, where we see him telling everybody else to wear masks, but of course he doesn't have to, and shutting the economy down. And what's really upsetting is that people like Governor Newsom, they still get paychecks during the pandemic. They still have their jobs, while there are many people who suffered, who had their jobs taken away from them week after week, month after month. And I would suggest that pretty much any Democrat that we would see in office, as well as Republican, we would want to go for that seat because we are looking at basically increasing the liberty of individuals and allowing people to make their own choices in their own lives.
The recall headlined at the state convention there in Visalia, the party endorsing Jeff Hewitt. How much do you guys believe in your party that you guys are going to be able to really make some noise in the recall?
Well, I hope we can make a lot of noise because traditionally what happens in an instance like this, as happened with Arnold Schwarzenegger, is that a lot of people are on the ballot. So it's not just one or two, it's not like one Democrat and one Republican. It's a whole handful of Republicans. And as we get closer, we may see a lot of Democrats jump in too if they see that he's not going to make it out of there alive. So we can get a lot of traction because it's us against a lot of people.
Doctor, you did run, obviously, in 2020. You finished third. You got almost 2 million of the national vote. Are you going to run again for president in 2024?
Well, it's a long ways off. We'll see. But what I have been telling Libertarian Party members is that I don't expect to get nominated again without doing work in the meantime. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to grow the party, grow the movement, and just try to make a lot of people aware. In fact, if you don't mind my mentioning, somebody told me that a friend of his, after he voted, said, you know, I went to the ballot box and I saw Donald Trump's name and Joe Biden's name, and then I saw another name, Jo Jorgensen. Who's he? And so what we have to do is we have to spread the message and let people know that they do have another choice. And so many people were voting either against Biden or against Trump. And so what we want to do is we want to offer an alternative of somebody they can vote for. And so that's what I'm going to be doing the next 3 years, is trying to grow the movement so that people realize they do have a choice on the ballot.
Well, it's kind of funny you say that, because through the presidential debates, the Libertarian Party is not invited. How do you change that?
Well, a couple ways. First of all, get big enough that the average person demands us to be on there, that the average person says, well, why isn't the Libertarian on there? That's the person I want to vote for. And I'd like to mention that after the first presidential debate this time around, our website came to a screeching halt because so many people were checking me out after seeing the disastrous first debate. Also, there's a new group that's forming that is trying to have a fair debate, which includes all candidates who are on the ballot in all 50 states, or at least have the could mathematically win. And we were actually in talks with them. We were hoping that everybody would come to the debate, but at the last minute, everybody, well, I should say the Democrats and Republicans just pulled out because they do have a monopoly, or, well, they didn't pull out, but they decided that they wouldn't come because they realize that they've got a monopoly. And right now, most Americans think they only have two choices. And so it's our job, again, to spread the word that they do have another choice, somebody who's on their side and not the side of the politicians.
Dr. Jo Jorgensen, hey, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks so much. Have a great day.